Hi, Nick Collier here, and this is my shop. Come join me. We'll have some fun. First, if you want to continue watching the drill press mess, it was posted 8 years ago. Go to the link below, and it will take you to the number 3 in the series, and you could follow it through. Okay, Nick Collier here, and finally we've got a new project. I've been recycling old projects for, I don't know, 3 or 4 months now. And some of them have been really old projects, like this last one. But we have a new project, and it's a pretty interesting one. Let me bring you down, and we'll talk about it. Okay, here's what we've got. This is a BMW clutch arm. So basically, I'm assuming it rocks back and forth. The cable attaches to here, comes out, and goes to the handlebars. Now, what we have to do, and this is an aluminum, and it turns out that the aluminum ones are the Achilles heel of the BMW world. So this guy wants to make it in stainless steel. So what we've done is we got a block of stainless and we blued it, and I set it up on the block itself, and then I clamped it with the clamp, and I drew just a rough outline of what we've got here, and I center punched the hole from here. And so basically what we're going to deal with is we're going to have to put this in the lathe and drill it for one, and then face off this little piece right here. So I think what I want to do here is mark this so I don't go any further than that. And then I'll come down. We're going to come down to about right here. Whoops, right here. And just take away all of this material. And maybe all the way out. Like that. Now I want to leave the 2 end pieces complete, so I have something to clamp to, because once we get it in this position, we're going to have to trim off the sides, and if you'll look at it, this has got a bit of a taper to it, and then of course it's got a bit of a hump there. He's just not worried about that part right there, so we'll just probably, you know, hand grind that or something. But then we have to take this off, then come in again and grab it here and drill this hole. Now this is just a drilled hole. It doesn't have a step to it. But this step, I think, is our first approach. So I think we should just take it over to the lathe and get started. What do you think? Okay, so let's look at this closely. Can we? Maybe. And it looks like we've got threads in there, and since it's a BMW, I'm betting it's metric, if not Wentworth. So we're going to check that out and see what we got. Okay, we got drill 266. We're going to drill it and then tap it to a M8 125. Okay, so we're going to come in and thread that hole, but before we do that, we're going to take half of this material away here so that, you know, we're not fighting the thread all the way through. This is stainless steel. So we're going to go in and just machine back to about that line there, and then figure out what we want to do. Okay. Once again, stretched out to the far lengths of my tooling, but it's gonna work. All right, we're gonna go sharpen this. We'll be back. Okay, so now we're gonna back this up. We've re-squared our hole. So now we'll come in with a tap, if I can find it. What happened to my tap? Ah! Get this out of the way. I think we're going to take a different approach on this hole, or this boss, because we've got to go in a ways, and I think if I just throw it on the mill and run a mill down there to what's needed, I think it'll be a lot quicker. Now that I think of it, once we mill that down, we could just come in with the tap and tap it then, rather than fight with it now. So this is pretty much what we want here. Let's take this out. Okay, we're going to need to get this down to the correct height. So I'm going to take it out of the chuck, or just move it, and take a measurement from this, and this is going to be about a 1/16 lower. So we'll just say 50 thousandths lower, and this is 661. So we've still got, let's say, 50 thousandths. We still got a good 1/8 of an inch left to take off. I think what I want to do is I'm going to scratch that in. Yep. All right. So bring it back, drop this down till it goes in. There we go. Tighten her up. And we've got, yeah, that's the mark right there. I think that's going to pretty much do it. We've got a reasonably good flat pattern there. That's going to get us to this first step. We'll be back. All right, well, before we go any further, and what we have to do is come in and build this little step right here. Let's see if we can point that out for you. I don't have anything to point with right now, but anyhow, you see this little step that comes up, and then there's this flat spot down here. So this all has to go down another, well, 3/16 at least, but we can't get in there with a bit until we get rid of some of this material here and this over here. So we're going to go in and machine away a bunch of this stuff in order to get where we want to go. And it looks like we need to bring the table up, which means we need to move the camera. Of course. How's that? Still there? Almost. Okay, table up. And we're on the mill that doesn't have any power equipment, and I keep telling myself I'm gonna get some power equipment on this damn thing, but for the moment it's a hand crank. Okay, so crank it up and see what we can come up with. All right, now we'll flip this and cut this backside. Okay, we got that side. Now let's bring it back and cut this side. This side can have a much steeper cut to it. Or is that shallower? I think it might be shallower. All right, I think that might give us enough clearance to do what we need to do here. One would hope. Let's take it back over the lathe and see what we can do there. Okay, so we brought our center in, we pushed it into the hole. We've got a couple of spacer blocks behind this to get it out so we can get to it. And I think we've got something here. So now we tighten this up. And the only way we can tighten it is to just start snugging things down until they work. Because these are going in at a diagonal and there's no way to really grip it except to just kind of work your way down, tightening everybody at the same time. And hoping that you're still centered. Okay, so let's see what we've got. Now we're off. So, I'm thinking maybe we can get... Maybe. Let's see what we got. Yeah, it's pretty good. That's not too bad. Let's see if we can tighten this up a little bit. There we go. Now let's see what we got. I think we might have something. Now that we're kind of where we want to be, now I need to machine this out so that we can come up with that step, this step right here. And also there's a chamfer on the inside of that too. Okay, so we'll worry about the step first. Let's see if we can come in with our boring head. We can. It's going to be a squeeze though. I'm thinking we'll come in with something a little more narrow. So I think that's what we're going to do, is trim this angle back just a bit to get it nice and sharp so we can get in there. We'll be back. Okay, so we've got our piece. We've welded this up to extend this. And now we're there. We sharpened the bit and changed the angle. So I think what we can do is just put this in